All heavens sign in from Naruto, chapter 61 to 80. Chapter 61 _ terrible sign in task. Alas, today's children are too precocious. At that time, we didn't understand this at all. Anko hadn't swallowed the tuna sushi in his mouth. Said vaguely. Anko, by the way, you really should find a boyfriend. Yuhi covered his mouth and smiled. Che, if my boyfriend has anything good, he will grab food from me, so I don't want it. Anko said indifferently, and at the same time picked up another kushimaru and continued eating. After a while, the Asuma class and the Kakashi class also participated. Yifeng originally wanted to invite him to the end. But 3 generations of Hokage, the future patriarch of the Sarutobi clan, the former daimyo guardian of the ninja of the Land of Fire, the elite Jonin of Konoha village, and the former boyfriend of Yuhi, Sarutobi Asuma, took the audience decisively and arrogantly. Since someone is rushing to spend money, the night wind is naturally happy. Don't be too polite. Finally, Yifeng saw Sasuke, who bowed his head to eat. A smile appeared on his face. Jinchuriki column, why are you so hungry? Maybe you forgot to eat breakfast. The 2 Jinchuriki column sons almost choked with a mouthful of rice. I recalled what happened at noon. Suddenly the food doesn't taste good anymore. From the second day, the ninja career of the little friends has officially begun. Graduated ninjas can only take on some of the most basic D-level tasks under the guidance of Jonin. This type of task, usually it is an internal task of Konoha village, such as helping people with house repairs, weeding, cleaning up trash, finding cats, taking care of children, etc. Missions like this, it is usually published by the big households in the village. Family used to look for genin to work. But now, Yifeng also had to do it himself. Anko, when will we be able to take on more advanced quests? D-level quests are so boring that we can't even leave the village. By the creek, cleaned several baskets of knives and complained to Anko, who was lying on the tree with the wind blowing. Don't worry, there will be more tasks in the future, but you have to wait until you are familiar with the basic flow of tasks. Anko grinned. Then, she jumped down from the tree. Check the cleaning of the cutting tools. Satisfied nodded. The process, isn't it just to go to the Hokage building to get the task, perform the task, and then come back to hand in the task? Such a simple thing, but also familiar with it. Yifeng said speechlessly. Don't underestimate the D-level mission. This is a process to help you lay the foundation and establish the will of fire. Anko laughed as he spoke. Obviously, she doesn't even believe this statement. Hey, the teacher is finally enjoying a leisurely vacation, can't you make me relax? Anko said with a shrug. Don't talk about these useless things. I have been working as a filmmaker recently, and the amount of tasks completed is 3 or 4 times that of other teams. I have made you a lot of money, right? It's worthy of you, right? So, quickly tell me how to do it. Received AD rank or higher mission. Yifeng said solemnly. Speak up. Yifeng doesn't have a strong desire to do tasks. After all, he is not short of money. Isn't it sweet to be a beautiful teacher who is honestly pacifying her in the village? But the Pit Father task system released a heavyweight task to let Yifeng go to the grave of the Land of Waves to sign in. Mud Horse. At this time, if you don't cut it, you won't die. And even if they don't cut it, Kakashi will cut it. How could Yifeng know the exact location of the tune's head? Not to mention, ninjas cannot act at will. So, in summary, must get ahead of the Kakashi class and receive the task of escorting the Land of Echoes of Dazna. Then, kill and never cut. Help him build a grave. Complete the sign-in. Chapter 62 _ Do you see my big Anko like a greedy man? Although with Yifeng and Anko's strength, it shouldn't be a big problem to join hands to deal with Zaibuju. But whether they can accept this task is the most critical. So, Yifeng must show his desire for tasks, especially for C-level tasks. After all, C-level tasks like escorting Kasner are very suitable for Jenin who has just graduated. This opportunity, Yifeng must let the third generation leave him well. Hey, it's not impossible to receive C-level missions in advance. But, I need to apply to Lord Hokage. But you have to know that decisions like this often don't need to be made by Lord Hokage in person, but by the civilian ninjas in the Hokage building. My relationship with them is relatively average, and I have to spend some money to manage it. It's very complicated, so you'd better do your tasks step by step. Hearing Enko ramble on and off, Yifeng directly took out a 50,000 tael silver ticket. It's not a matter of money and money. Do you think the teacher is like the kind of person who lacks money? Swish. Another 50,000 taels. I can help you, but... Swish. The third 50,000 taels. Enko swallowed. As a special Jonin of Konoha village, even if she completed an A-level mission, after going through layers of skinning, she could actually get her hands, with an average of 200,000 to 300,000. But now, 50,000 taels were placed in front of him. Mitarashi Enko, should give up the principle of being a guide Jonin for 150,000 taels. This is impossible. Swish. When Enko heard this beautiful voice again, the corners of her mouth grinned open like an erha, and a sincere smile appeared on her face. Good boy, tomorrow the teacher will take you to perform C-level tasks outside the village. The next day, Ino helped Yefeng prepare a knife bag and a medical kit. The knife bag contains some hidden weapons, detonating charms, smoke bombs, etc. that Yifeng commonly uses. Medical kit contains some secret medicines of the Yamanaka family, which can be used for first aid and recovery. Brother, although you won't encounter ninjas on C-level missions, you still have to be careful. The detonating charms should be thrown away. Don't be reluctant, we have more at home. There are also these military ration pills. Take one before starting the battle, which can improve the battery life. Don't save money. Our family is not bad. Although Ino knows that his brother is strong. But after all, this is the brother's first combat mission. Still have to give some good advice. After all, that Enko teacher always feels unreliable. Don't worry, you're going to be nagging like mom. Leave home. The night wind meets Enko at the gate of Konoha village. The two were about to leave. At this time, Hinata ran over from a distance, panting, and said, Yefeng, this is the medical kit I specially prepared for you, please bring it. Yifeng was stunned for a moment, then smiled and put away Hinata's thoughts. Don't worry, I won't be in danger. Hinata nodded vigorously. She believes in the night wind. But believing is believing, and your heart still needs to be expressed. Leave the village. Enko looked at the two bulging medical kits hanging from Yifeng's body. Look at the skinny medical bag on him. I couldn't help feeling emotional. The secret medicine of the Yamanaka family and the Hyuga family, if they are put on the market, they are all worth a lot of money. I really envy the children of your big family. Chapter 63_Dusty Memory. You are Jonin, don't make it sound like you're short of money and want to ask me for medicine. Just say it directly, and I won't give it to you. Yifeng said angrily. Enko's face turned Yuhi, as if he was struck by Yifeng, and quickly explained. I'm talking about when I was your age, not now, really, will I be greedy for your pills? Don't talk nonsense, just ask if you want it. Yifeng gave Enko a sideways glance. Yes. Enko smiled and took the medicine pill from Yifeng. Suddenly, deep in her memory, it seems to open up some memories that have been sealed for a long time. These medicines are all newly developed by me, do you want them? Want? Hehe, if you want, just say it directly, After all, I'm your teacher. Ah. Enko suddenly let out a low moan, and covered his neck with his left hand, his expression gloomy. What's wrong? Not feeling well? Yifeng frowned. It's nothing, hurry up. Enko's icy voice made Yifeng a little confused. How could such a normal conversation turn around? Woman. How strange. By the way, what exactly is the mission this time? Followed Enko, seeing that she had been cold, so he found a topic and wanted to ease the atmosphere. What exactly? Of course, it's to let you, a rookie, see blood. Enko's face was still low, and he stuck out his tongue and licked the corner of his mouth, his expression gradually becoming wild. Hey. Nightwing sighed lightly. Is it necessary to be so exaggerated? At any time. Don't you know it's easy to misunderstand? ... After 2 hours. The two came to the foot of a hill. Cast by a Kugan to observe. There is a cottage on the top of this hill, which seems to be the den of a group of bandits. It didn't take long. A small cyan snake crawled out of the grass, and Enko tapped his finger on the snake's head. The situation on the mountain is similar to what was recorded in the mission information. There are a bunch of bandits above. Your mission is to kill them all. Enko said lightly. Oh, okay. Yifeng nodded calmly. At this time. Enko turned his head and glanced at Yifeng. Actually. If the normal process is followed, the person who will do it this time should be Enko. And Yifeng only needs to see the process of killing. At most, let him go to make up a knife to practice courage. But. Enko reminded her of some painful past because of the night wind. So. She is in a bad mood. So. She deliberately scare him. But. What is your reaction now? No mental disorder at all. This is murder. Murder for the first time. ... The two went up the mountain. Enko really didn't shoot. Turned on by a Kugan, held a ninja knife, and rushed into the cottage like a killing god, showing no mercy. On the way up the mountain. Has already asked Enko. This time the task was posted by villagers near the mountain who pooled their money. They lived with the bandits on the mountain for more than 10 years. Mountain bandits will not do things like killing chickens to get eggs, nor will villagers accumulate enough silver coins to issue quests. But the people in the village never gave up. They have their own way. Bit by bit. 1 cent by 1 cent. After deceiving the bandits time and time again, I finally got enough silver to release this mission. So. Treat these gangsters that suck blood like moths. Yifeng almost fell from his hands. Show no mercy. Soon. Blood covered the top of the mountain. That moment. Yifeng seems to like this feeling very much, the feeling of having absolute power and absolute dominance. Chapter 64_3 Generations did it. On the hill. Under the waterfall. Yifeng let the cold river water wash his muscles. Washed away the blood stained on the body. Enko stood in the distance, looking at Yifeng's strong muscles and stern appearance. He couldn't help sighing. This dead kid, shouldn't it be the reincarnation of an evil ghost? It's the first time to kill someone, and he has killed so many people, and he actually looks like he is enjoying it very much. It's too much. The night breeze is finished. Put on new clothes. Enko took him to check the situation of the cottage carefully, and truthfully recorded the execution process of the task. Subsequently, the two of them signed and stamped on the scroll respectively. This time, the mission was completed successfully. On the way back to the village, Enko kept frowning, occasionally taking a sneak look at Yifeng. Finally, she couldn't help but ask Yifeng, "Hey, kid, you don't feel anything after killing so many people? How can you be so calm?" Usually, when a ninja kills for the first time, he is so nervous that he vomits. Even Enko is no exception. But Yifeng's very normal performance is really abnormal. At this time, turned to look at Anko and grinned. Of course I'm not so calm anymore, but I'm deliberately trying not to show it. I just want to see you show that kind of look that you want to ask but don't dare to ask. It's cute. Quote. Damn it, you bloody bastard. Haha, who made you play with me on the way here? You, go to hell. In the next month. And Anko receiver still D-level tasks, and they will only perform C-level tasks occasionally. After all, C-level tasks for novices. The task of eliminating bandits before is actually not suitable for novices to perform. But there were no other tasks at the time. For the 200,000 tales of teacher-student love, Anko asked for that task from the third generation of Hokage. But such an opportunity. There can't be a second time. Because when the 3 generations of Hokage listened to Anko's mission report, he felt that Yifeng seemed to have the potential to become black. Then 3 generations of Hokage decided C-level escort tasks in the future. When Yifeng knew about the decision of the 3rd generation purpose, he praised the 3 generations of Hokage on the spot. It is difficult to be a Hokage, it is difficult to do a good job of Hokage, and it is even more difficult to be a Hokage who can understand Yifeng's thoughts. But the 3rd generation apparently did it. This day, Anko brought Yifeng to Hokage's office to see if there were any suitable C-level tasks. The Kakashi class is also here. Hi, Anko, Yifeng, hello. Kakashi listlessly greeted Yifeng and Anko. Others don't understand why Kakashi has no energy like a teenager who is addicted to the internet. But Yifeng understood. Small physique was hollowed out by Obito's Sharingan, he was still obsessed with novels with colors. It's amazing that Kakashi can still stand here and talk normally. Of course. The Night Wind can also understand. A decision made by Providence in order to weaken Kakashi. If not, Kakashi is not the protagonist of Hitaki. After a few simple greetings. Blah blah blah. Sandemu took a cigarette, spit it out the window, and looked at Yifeng with a smile. You two came just in time. There is a C-level quest here, which is very suitable for you. This is the quest scroll, you can take it back and take a look. Chapter 65 _ The Land of Waves mission begins. Nani, the 3rd generation grandfather, why? Why can Yifeng do C-level tasks, while our class can only do D-level tasks? Naruto shouted from the side. Although Naruto has given up the idea of competing with Yifeng, but he really wanted to perform a more advanced task. After all, he's going to be Hokage in the future. How can Tenten catch cats and walk dogs? The 3rd generation glanced at Naruto. This kid has a good heart, but this stock is too squeamish, very similar to Kushina. Naruto, Yifeng alone has completed 20 D-level tasks and 3 C-level tasks since graduation. And you. It is obviously a 3-person team, but so far, it seems that a total of 3 D-level tasks have been completed. Got another complaint. With such achievements, how could the old man assign you more important C-level tasks? 3rd generation Hokage said slowly. Hear the news. Naruto curled his lips in dissatisfaction and said. The time I was complained. It wasn't because that guy Sasuke likes to be handsome, so he screwed up. I really don't understand why you want me to join Sasuke's team. I feel like he's dragging me down a lot. Everyone was speechless. Who drags whom? Don't you count yourself? Exit the Hokage building. Anko unrolls the quest scroll. Take a look. Okay, this time we are going to the country of waves to do a mission. I heard that it is a very beautiful country on the water. There should be a lot of delicious food. Yifeng gave Anko a disdainful look. Very beautiful water country. Is there a necessary connection to whether it is good or not? Is beautiful the same as delicious? From another point of view, it seems to make sense. Took the scroll from Enko's hand. Took a look. Although he appeared calm on the surface, he finally breathed a sigh of relief. The country of waves, Dasna, don't cut it again. Yifeng finally got the chance to sign in. Come to the task room. Enko handed the scroll to the staff responsible for entertaining the patron. Soon, architect Dishonor came out of the house, with a strong smell of wine on his body. Is it a two-person team, one of whom is a child? I said, did you make a mistake? I posted a C-level quest, didn't you say that your quest team consists of 4 people? Dishonor took off the hat from his head. Frowned. He managed to save enough money for the C-level mission. But, is Konoha just fooling him like that? It's too bad. Hear Dishonor complain. The staff explained with a smile. Sir, you can rest assured that there are only 2 people in this team, because they are special and there is absolutely no problem with their strength. Also, I can tell you secretly that they are all descendants of Hokage-sama. A direct descendant of Hokage. Dishonor raised an eyebrow. He lied about the task level for this task. In case something happens in between. These 2 are related to Hokage again. Then wouldn't he offend Konoha village? But Dasna wants to build a bridge in the Land of Echoes, which is no trivial matter, and the road is not expected to be too safe. There are 2 people like this to protect themselves. It is also a relatively safe way. For the people of the country of waves. Fight. On the way to the country of waves. Enko and Yefeng walked ahead. Dishonor because of a guilty conscience. He silently followed behind the 2 of them. Yefeng, from Konoha village to the Land of Waves is a long way to go. At the current speed of the 3 of us, it is estimated that it will take 4 or 5 days to walk. So, as your guide, Jonan, I feel compelled to teach you some wilderness survival skills. Chapter 66_Great My Little Brother. Enko touched his chin. Posing like a teacher. She walked to the grass next to her, and dug out a piece of kudzu with kunai. Rinse with water. Put it in the mouth and chew it up. Although we came out with the Bing Bing pills, the Bing Bing pills are too precious after all, and it is best to keep them in battle to replenish our stamina. Usually if you are hungry, you can dig this plant in the wild to fill your stomach, understand? Enko had a faint smile on his face. I said, although this is not a forest, you can find some small animals such as rabbits and pheasants, right? Why don't you eat meat instead of eating grass? Enko like a big idiot, showing a confused look on his face. Enko seemed to have long expected Yifeng to ask this question. So, she replied disdainfully, aren't you talking nonsense? Rabbits and pheasants are both raw, how to eat them? At this time, Night Wind stopped. At Enko. A different look appeared in his eyes. So, you are a girl who can't even cook. Crap, we're ninjas, not chefs. Enko pouted. Half an hour later. Yifeng shaved the prepared beggar chicken out of the soil. Cracked the yellow mud that wraps the chicken. The aroma of grilled meat was instantly exuded. Okay, it smells so good. You bastard, you actually know how to cook. And you seem to be pretty good at it. Enko's eyes were staring at the chicken in Yifeng's hands. Saliva was about to flow out. You can't take your eyes off the delicious food. Are you the stupid girl in the Akamichi family who was carried by the wrong family? Turned over by a Kugan, a little speechless. A joke about the night wind. Enko didn't take it to heart. She took half of the chicken from Yifeng's hand and bit it without hesitation, showing an elated look. It's amazing, my handsome little apprentice. This chicken is so delicious, the teacher is welcome. Whisper rumbling. Enko showed his true colors. Delicious food, the wind swirls the clouds. Fortunately, Yifeng left half a chicken ahead of time. Otherwise, he may be hungry. Yifeng chewed a chicken leg, glanced at Dishonor who was sitting alone not far away, and said, "Mr. Dishonor, let's come over and eat something." Dasna smiled, waved the dry food in his hand, and thanked, "No need, little brother, I'll just eat this." After all, it is a false report of the task level. Dasna is a little guilty. How can you be embarrassed to eat Yifeng's chicken? Be honest. Acts like Dasner's false statement of mission level are very bad. Although he is for the welfare of the people of the country of waves. But this is for the ninjas of Konoha village. Very unfriendly. Kakashi class or the Anko class who received this quest. There is a good chance that the ninja on the mission will be cold. But assumptions are just hypotheses after all. In the eyes of the Night Wind, Dasna is just an NPC who leads the protagonist to brush dungeons and do quests. So, Yifeng smiled casually and said, "Are you interested in coming over for a drink?" Dasna finally swallowed when he saw the jug in Yifeng's hand. "You can skip meals. Wine, that's really fragrant. Brother, thank you very much." Dasna was in high spirits, took out an empty jug from his backpack, and sat beside Yifeng. Yifeng gave him some spirits. "Huh, kid, you don't seem to be old enough to drink, right?" While eating meat, Anko looked at Yifeng with a weird expression. "Young age. How dare you drink? Still a child." Chapter 67 _ This teacher will give you another lesson. Yifeng raised his head and took a sip of white wine. Then he handed the jug in Anko's direction. Motioned for Anko to take a sip too. Anko shook his head decisively. "Drink wine. Wouldn't that spoil the deliciousness of the chicken?" Then, Yifeng said boldly, "Look, whether you can drink or not has nothing to do with your age." Done. Yifeng and Dasna clinked glasses. Dried a mouthful. "Cool. Mr. Dishonor, I heard that your return to the Land of Echoes this time is to help your hometown build a bridge to connect the sea and land." Yifeng asked casually. "That's right, the country of waves is made up of many islands, surrounded by the sea, and there is no bridge to open the road, so it is difficult to develop." Dishonor said with a smile. "So it is." Yifeng nodded and continued. "As the mission requires, we can protect you until the bridge is built. But building a bridge is difficult, but destroying a bridge is easy. Does it really make sense for you to do so?" "Makes sense." Dasna took a sip of wine, his eyes were firm, and he said, "Little brother, I understand what you're saying, and so do everyone in the country of waves. But we have no choice, we have to build bridges. This is our sign of protest to the daimyo. If the bridge is not built in the end, the spirit of the country of waves will be completely lost, and there will be no way to get rid of poverty and backwardness. The power of the mind is indeed powerful. A bridge is just a tool. Want to destroy a bridge across the sea? A detonator can easily do it. Cardo if only to deal with a bridge. He didn't even need to hire a missing nin like Zayubujian to kill him halfway. The bridge will be a symbol. It is a symbol that can influence daimyo decisions. That's why you need to stop shooting. ... 3 days later. Yifeng and the three of them are about to walk out of the border of the Fire Nation. During these 3 days, they did not meet the enemy. But, according to Yifeng's understanding of the plot, it won't be long. 2 little monsters are about to appear. Another half day gone. There were indeed 2 water spots in the middle of the road. But such a hiding trick seemed very crude in the eyes of Yifeng and Anko. After all, the chakra aura that exudes cannot be deceived. The 2 casually passed by the water stains. At this time, Hayate suddenly sounded from behind. Swish. The silver-white knife light slid past. Ding ding. The 2 kunai were counterattacked and inserted into the throats of Zabuzin's men. 1-hit kill. Hey, stinky boy, you can show off, why don't you keep alive one? Anko frowned, and put on a teacher's style again. Looks like I'll teach you another lesson today. If the ninja encounters an ambush on the way to the mission, he must leave a living person and get information from him, understand? Shrugged and ignored Anko. Because he knows. Anko's performance has only just begun. However, although you didn't leave a living hole, the teacher still has a way to get some information. Anko put his hands on his hips and put on a pretentious look. As you can see from their forehead guards, they are missing Nin of Kurigakure village. It can be seen from their just kunai trajectory that their target is Daz. So, Mr. Dazna, your quest level may need to be raised. Anko looked at Daz with a half smile and said. In the process of performing a task, it is actually a common thing to temporarily increase the task level. After all, the other party learned that Dazna hired ninjas from Konoha village. They can also pay to hire ninjas. Chapter 68 What to do with no money. But I don't know them at all, you ninjas in Konoha village, how can you smear someone's innocence out of thin air? Maybe they're just blocking the road. Take a shot at me first, just think I'm the weakest one. Dazna swallowed his saliva, his expression was a little stiff, and he denied it. Mr. Dazna, I'm a special Jonin from Konoha village, are you doubting my judgment on the mission? Anko licked the corner of his mouth and looked at Daz with burning eyes. Such a deadly trick. Too low end. Since it is a judgment, there is no evidence. If you do this, be careful that I will sue you. Dazna frowned, insisting that this matter had nothing to do with him. Complaint. Anko looked at him angrily and smiled, and said without giving up. Do you think my mother is afraid of complaints? I, Mitarashi Anko, have never been afraid of complaints, otherwise, why do you think I'm just a special Jonin now? How can you do this? Without solid evidence, I won't let you upgrade your mission level. Dazna bit Kiba and began to brew emotions. At this time, Yifeng stood up and calmly said. Kato, right, you want to build a bridge and change the status quo of the country of waves. The first person to be affected is Kato of the country of waves. So, you lied about the quest level. Kato, who is Kato? Anko frowned. Apparently, this name is a little unfamiliar. Kato is the richest man in the country of waves. He has mastered the water transportation of the country of waves. He is richer than the name of the country of waves. If the country of wave has a bridge, Kato's business will suffer. Ms. Anko. Knowledge points such as the background of the investigation task are written in the textbook of the ninja school. You, the instructor, should not have forgotten all of them, right? Winked at Anko in a weird tone. Fuck, stupid brat. Anko was stunned for a moment, then cursed. He was often despised by his own students. Anko suddenly felt that her role as a guide to Jonin was not good at all. And just a kid. How can you know so much? Not only can cook. Can you see through the situation in the country of waves? Are all the little devils so arrogant now? Paper can't hold fire, Daz. If your opponent is really Kato, there will be many dangers on the road, so denying it is useless. Yifeng looked at Daz sharply. Dazna sees Yifeng's analysis as completely correct. Finally defeated. But it wasn't that he didn't want to ask Konoha's ninjas for help at the normal quest level. He really doesn't have that much money. Hey, Daz, there are already ninjas in this mission, and the mission level starts at B level. If Kato sends Jonin to kill us next, the quest level will be A. Whether to upgrade or not is up to you. If we give up, we can go back now. Anko said coldly. Sorry, I'm really out of money. Dazna sighed, very helpless. What? No money. I'm sorry, goodbye. Anko let out a sneer. Ninja is a profession, not a ranger. Without money, they will never give their lives. But this time, waved his hand and stopped Anko. It doesn't matter if I don't have money. Anyway, I'm not short of money. Can I continue the mission? Huh. Dazna and Anko looked at Yifeng with a bewildered expression. Your show is a bit big. Chapter 69_Whisper. Yifeng, what do you mean? It's illegal for you to do this, and it's not child's play to do a task. If the other party does dispatch Jonan, our safety cannot be guaranteed. Anko reminded solemnly. I know this is against the rules, but you also heard Dasna say that he has a daughter and granddaughter in the country of waves. If he died, wouldn't his lovely granddaughter want Ten to cry? His helpless daughter, wouldn't she want to hate Konoha village all her life and die alone? Tisk tisk, it's too cruel. Yifeng smiled nonchalantly. Hear the two talking. Dasna looked at Yifeng with a dazed expression. Isn't that exactly what he was thinking about? How could someone say it first? At this time, Anko pulled Yifeng aside and whispered in his ear. Hey, stinky boy, what the hell are you doing? Don't underestimate Jonan. Also lay beside Anko's ear and whispered. Do I need to say that? Since Cardo likes to hire missing nin. Then I ask you, how much is a Jonan level missing nin worth? You can taste it yourself. Anko shrank back, feeling a little itchy in his neck. It's not a matter of money. There is still some risk in fighting Jonan, Anko said. Continued to lie down and said, the two of us, one is Jenin and the other is Jonan, the other party will definitely take it lightly. At that time, with the real strength of the two of us, it will be a piece of cake to catch him by surprise. Anko shrank his neck again, showing hesitation. Yifeng continued to fool around and said. Think about it carefully. After the event is completed, we will split the account between the two of us. In the future, what you want to eat and what you want, just buy it. Are you still using it carefully? Are you still using it to fool my disciple? Wouldn't you like to experience the money is not a problem feeling? Have to say. Last three rhetorical questions moved Anko. Money is not a problem. I have no interest in money. I don't need money. Let's imagine. If she can go out and talk like this in the future. How wonderful that feels. Not to mention. Yifeng was right. Fight between ninjas. The most important thing is information. But the intelligence of both of them is abnormal. Especially suitable for pretending to be a pig and eating a tiger. Well, in that case, you can think about it. Anko's eyes narrowed. A small amount of money has already started to fall. Ended the whispering. Anko walked in front of Dasna and said sternly. Ahem, the two of us just discussed it. The ninjas in Konoha village are all ninjas who uphold the will of fire. Since you are pitiful, we can continue to escort you. But the mission level still needs to be upgraded, but I can allow you to make an IOU first, otherwise how can we go back to Lord Hokage? There is certainly no precedent for IOUs in Konoha village. But Big Anko. Create a precedent without a precedent. After finishing the IOU. Mission continues. The three came to the seaside of the country of fire smoothly. There was a small boat that Dasna had contacted in advance. The three took a small boat, crossed the Bohuo Strait, and arrived at the land of waves. It's a big fog, everyone be careful. After disembarking, Anko took out a kunai and walked in the front, alert. After all, the last wave of killers was the missing nin of Kurigakure village. Kurigakure village is best at is the Kurigakure assassination technique. So, this fog is 80% odd. Chapter 70 _ the peach land will not be cut again. Buzz. As expected. The three of them just walked out not far. A terrifying blade wind suddenly hit from a distance. The beheading sword that will not be cut again swivels, and it is very likely to cut off the three of them in the middle. First use the fog to interfere with the line of sight, and then use the knife to sneak attack. It is indeed a very perfect routine. But front of this pair of Byakugan of Yifeng. Zaibujian is like a little daughter-in-law who has been entrusted to the bear, no secrets at all. Clang. Ninja unsheathed. The beheading sword was slashed out. At the same time, there was a burst of fire rubbing against the fog. It's not bad, it's a famous sword, it's really powerful. Yifeng frowned. This sword was a draw. Little devil, are you all right? Anko snorted, panning to Yifeng and protecting him. At this time, the beheading knife cut into the trunk of a large tree. No more cuts appeared. Oh, it turned out to be the ninjas of Konoha village. Since you guys were able to come here, it means that my two incompetent subordinates are dead, right? Zan stared at Anko and Yifeng, exuding an astonishing murderous aura. Big knife, bandages, murderous aura. Anko couldn't help swallowing and said, you are Kurigakure missing nin, don't cut the peach land again. Anko had a bitter look on his face. They wanted to go fishing. As a result, a shark fell out. Bad luck. Haha, to actually know this uncle, that's a lot easier. No longer beheading, he removed the beheading sword from the tree trunk, pointed in Anko's direction, and said with a mocking expression. For the sake of Konoha village, this uncle can spare you, but this old man needs to be handed over to me. Anko swallowed. The eyes are a little dignified. No longer cut strong. At least stronger than Anko in his current state. Get your hands on it. Anko really has no chance of winning. Hokage is forcibly broken, use the evil power that man left her. So, giving up Dasna is indeed the best option. Anko, do you really think he'll let us go with someone like Teoti's Zaibujian? He just wanted to see if the ninjas in Konoha village would give up their employers and become traitors like him when the crisis came. Yifengyan said lightly. Oh, it's like you know me well. Do you know why I defected? Zaibi Yuzan narrowed his eyes and looked at Yifeng sharply. Sorry, I'm not interested in the secrets of a dying person. I'm more interested in the value you can bring to me after your death. Yifeng shrugged. Grunt. Anko swallowed. Really, newborn calves are not afraid of tigers. This is the Kurigakure ghost. Your kid is still thinking about the bounty. Crazy. Aren't you short of money? Haha, funny, funny, hope your strength is as funny as your mouth. Don't cut the voice again. Swish. The beheading sword fell in the air. Anko and Yifeng stepped down at the same time, dodged the sword light, and landed on the lake. Yifeng, beware. Anko saw Yifeng being pushed to the other side with a knife by Zaibi Yuzan. I was a little anxious. I want to rush over to join the night wind. But this time. Calm lake water. Another peach land came out without cutting it. Sweden water style, water prison technique. Anko's attention just now was all on Yifeng. So. She didn't notice that the clone of Zaibusha was hiding in the lake. A careless. Trapped in a water prison. Not good. Yifeng, run away. You are no match for him. Don't mind me, run away. Chapter 71 _ Will you die if you don't pretend? Being a special Jonin of Konoha village. Of course Anko knew the power of Kurigakure's water prison technique. For a short period of time. She also has no good way to crack this ninjutsu. So. She could only roar loudly at Yifeng. I hope Yifeng won't be a hero. I hope Yifeng can abandon her and run away alone. After all. She is his teacher. Just like what the man once said to her. Anko, if one day I am trapped by the enemy, you don't need to save me, because the person who can trap the teacher is definitely not something you can face. Anko's direction with a warm smile on his face. Don't worry, I'll protect you with me here. Hear Yifeng's words. Anko's expression froze. The thing she was most worried about finally happened. Damn kid. Don't be brave. I'm just your temporary guide, Jonin. Hey, don't be ashamed there, little devil of Konoha village. Zaibi Yuzan snorted coldly. Subsequently. Swish. Without slashing again, he launched the fog shunshu technique, and flashed directly in front of Yifeng, and the beheading sword fell on the head. Clang. Flat cut to flat cut. Hard steel between men. Futon, wind style, enchantment. As a kid, it is indeed a matter of pride to be able to develop the chakra blade to such an extent. But in front of my famous sword, any sword ninja will become worthless. Even if you have the futon wind style enchantment, how many times can you resist my big sword with a ninja sword like yours? No longer said disdainfully. Oh, is that really so? Yifeng unhurriedly used his forbearance knife to swipe on the blade of the beheading sword, sparking a burst of fire, and said with a smile. So, when did you get the illusion that I'm just a swordsman ninja? The voice fell. Hand seal with one hand with his left hand. Kaden fire style, great fireball jutsu. What? One-handed hand seal. A stream of heat surged out of Yifeng's mouth and charged straight towards Zaibuzan. The scorching high temperature contained in the fireball made him feel extremely apprehensive even if he didn't cut it. Swish. Fog instant body art. Zaibuzan decisively used the shunshu technique to avoid the flames and widen the distance between him and Yifeng. To this, Yifeng let out a sneer. No more cuts. Why do you want to distance yourself from me? You who are good at using ninja swords and Kurigakur assassination techniques, shouldn't you attack me in melee combat? Or, do you think it would be safer for you to distance yourself? If that's the case, I can only tell you with regret. The battle distance between you and me has no meaning at all. Anko was trying hard to crack the water prison technique, but when she heard Yifeng's voice, the chakra in her body collapsed suddenly, and the previous efforts were all in vain. Nest. Damn kid, if you don't pretend, will you die? Anko couldn't help but want to rant. Sweden water style, water dragon bullet art. Off his hands to release the seal, he performed his skillful Sweden water style ninjutsu. To this, can only be fought with futon wind style and Kaden fire style. Kaden fire style, dragon ball art. Futon wind style, crushing. Although Sweden water style can restrain Kaden fire style. But Yifeng's hand seal is extremely fast. With the blessing of penultimate level futon wind style, the power of the fire dragon bullet increases dramatically. Fire and water meet. There was a roaring roar in the air. Little devil, I didn't expect your chakra to be so pure. If you leave alive today, I'm afraid it will add another powerful enemy to Kurigakur village, so you should die. Sweden water style, great waterfall technique. Quote. Kaden fire style, majestic destroyer flame, great fire annihilation. Chapter 72 _ I take your life. Face off against a large Sweden water style, attack like the great waterfall technique. No weakness in used Uchiha Madara's signature move. Also massive Kaden fire style. Like a sea of fire, the water polo was enveloped. The seawater that was not chopped instantly evaporated into a large amount of mist. But this is the purpose of not cutting again. Swish. A light and shadow flashed. Without cutting his hands, he stood behind Yifeng. Kuwusheng shone with a misty cold light. It was tightly attached to Yifeng's neck aorta. Little devil, thank you for helping me create so much fog. In this state, no one can go faster than me. The fog is heavier. Kurigakur assassination is faster. This is the original tactic of not cutting again. But Yifeng didn't even look at the kunai on his neck, he said calmly. Is that so? I've heard that you Kurigakur's 7 knives were kicked to death by a Konoha genin. So, facing me, who is also Konoha genin, where did your confidence come from? No longer frowning slightly. Just about to learn about Yifeng's life. But this time, suddenly he heard a faint voice. Follow the sound. Suddenly, his face changed suddenly. Detonator. Are you crazy? Boom. The ultimate detonating charm specially made by Yamanaka's family. Powerful. The flames swallowed Yifeng's body directly. Zaibuzan used the shunshu technique in an emergency. But he was still affected by the blast of the detonator. Crazy, crazy, the genins in Konoha village are all crazy. No longer spit out a mouthful of blood, the flesh and blood on his body were blurred, and the bandages were blown to pieces. Then, Yifeng walked out from the other side of the fog with a flat expression. Hey, Shadow Clone, self-destruction feels a little bit broken, but it's not a loss to be able to count against you. The one who detonated the detonator was Nightwind's Shadow Clone. As early as when his majestic destroyer flame, Great Fire Annihilation collided with the Great Waterfall technique that never cut. Had already anticipated that Zabuzao would launch the Kurigakure assassination technique next. So, he took the opportunity to leave behind a Shadow Clone. The detonator was ignited in advance. As expected. Because if you don't cut it, you have to pretend. So Yifeng's clone was dragged to the detonating symbol and ignited completely. This moment. Anko in the cage was dazed. To know. Any experience that Shadow Clone encounters will be transmitted back to the main body at the moment when the clone is broken. That is to say. Yifeng was not hurt by the explosion though. But on a spiritual level. He actually experienced the feeling of being exploded by the detonating charm. Just thinking about it makes me sour. Yifeng came to Zaibi Yuzan in an instant, and looked at him flatly. If you don't kill the ghost, I will take your life. Swish. Knife light passed. The goal is to not cut the throat again. But. Just when the blade is about to pass by and not cut. A young figure suddenly appeared, standing in front of Zaibuzan, allowing the ninja knife to cut into the body. He is Haku. A handsome boy who looks like a young lady. Click. A cold chakra spread from Haku's body to Yifeng's ninja sword. When Yifeng's ninja knife was fighting with Zabuzan, it was already destroyed to the point of death. Now. Under Haku's ice shield. The ninja shattered directly. Only one handle remains. If I do and kill you again, I can't accompany you to watch the day when your dream comes true. Please run away quickly. Haku said his last words before dying. Unfortunately, he can't escape anymore. Yifeng shook his head, the handle of the knife in his hand dropped, and his index finger stretched out. Boom. A slender futon wind-style chakra directly pierced the uncut heart. Chapter 73_Trader or Hero. That's it. Is this the end? But my dream hasn't come true yet. The new era of Kurigakure village has yet to come. How could I fall in such a place? No longer spit out a mouthful of blood and fell with Haku. Although he is the missing nin of Kurigakure village, he has always been concerned about the future of the village. Actually, it won't be as bad as the rumors say. Yifeng knew this. Don't worry, the blood mist will end, and in a few years, Kurigakure village will become the Kurigakure village that you and Yagura worked so hard for. Yifeng bent down, lay beside Zai Buchuan's ear, and said softly. This sentence is finished. Without further ado, he raised his head with difficulty. Looking at the night wind. You know, hope you didn't lie to me. So far. A generation of heroes came to an end. Although missing nin. But also known by later generations as the hero of the village of Kurigakure. Damn it, it's actually so strong. It's too good to tell the old lady sooner. The bad old lady almost worried about you to death. Anko's eyes flashed with a small amount of money, and he ran towards Yifeng excitedly. Thought that Anko would slap him and teach him a lesson. Result. Anko actually hugged Yifeng into his arms. A kiss on the forehead. Thank you, damn brat. Anko smiled slightly. Yifeng did not resist the facial cleanser. He was just a little speechless and thought in his heart. Hey, the bones are still not cold, you stupid woman, or you are playing so big. ... Exterminate it and don't cut it again. Anko cut off the head that would not be cut off again, and put away the beheading sword as a token of exchange for the bounty. Yifeng took the Dazna gang, Zaibi Yuzan and Bai to set up a tomb respectively. But Yifeng stood on the grave that would never be cut. The system did not issue a sign in reminder. He frowned. Anko, everyone is dead, and not leaving a whole body, isn't it too cruel? Talking. Yifeng took back the uncut head, dug up the grave, and buried it again. Anko and Dasna looked confused. Ding! The host has arrived at the check-in location, and the check-in starts now. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the sign-in. Congratulations to the host for the reward, sweetened water style penultimate. Congratulations to the host for getting the reward. Don't cut the sweetened water style spree again. Yifeng nodded in satisfaction. From today, sweetened water style is also available. Hey, stinky boy, you buried your head, what shall we exchange for the bounty? Anko pouted. Of course he used his beheading sword. Doesn't this sword still explain the problem? If the other party really dares not to give the money, see if I don't cut them with a knife. Yifeng said indifferently. Haha, it's not a shame that I'm a student of the old lady, it's exactly the same as me, I like it. Anko laughed. By the way, given your performance in the battle just now, I think it's too much to give you 50%. Is 10% enough? Yifeng asked. Go away, you damn brat. ... After the news of Zaibujian's killing came out, the Cardo group was completely silent. Daz, this old man is really cruel. In order to fight against Lao Su, he actually hired an existence from Konoha village that could kill the S-rank missing nin. This means that Konoha village is going to intervene in the land of waves. After having this idea, if Cardo still dared to fight Yifeng's idea, it was probably because his brain was flooded. By the way, Anko, you say, shall we rob Cardo? He is the richest man in the country of waves. He should be very rich, right? Chapter 74 _ The strange worldview of the ninja world. Although Cardo did not have the idea of playing the Night Wind, but Yifeng hit Cardo's idea. Are you kidding me? I'm going to you, I'm not going anyway. With this money, I'm already content, and I don't want to die anymore. Anko pouted. Robbery. If the big family is so easy to be robbed. Are ninjas still working hard to earn money? Missing nin also used to work for the rich. Can't you just tie it up? Are samurai really that strong? Even you, Jonin from Konoha village, don't even dare to check out the idea. Yekaz is very curious about the samurai in the ninja world. Although Mifune of Iron Country was able to defeat Hanzo of Impure World Reincarnation. But overall, the strength of the samurai should be weaker than the ninja. Samurai are not strong, to be precise, most samurai are not strong. But there are many samurai. Although ninjas can perform large-scale ninjutsu to crush samurai, the chakra and physical strength of ninjas are limited after all. In the face of crowd tactics, sooner or later, the samurai will be dragged down. Anko explained nonchalantly. And, do you think people like Kato don't have ninja protection around them? There are still many stray ninjas in this world. They specialize in serving the rich and powerful, and their strength should not be underestimated. We lack the intelligence of the other party. If we are accidentally tactical by them, it will be doomed. So when this guy finishes building the bridge, we'll have to get out of here. After Anko science, there was a thoughtful look on Yifeng's face. Ninjas are only mortals after all. For example, facing all arrows. Although ninjas can cast some ninjutsu for defense. But normal ninjas. How much chakra can I have in my body? How many times can you defend against 1,000 arrows? 3 generations of Raikage forged by Raiden, Thunder style. A suit of steel and iron bones can even wrestle with the tailed beast. But, didn't he end up being dragged to death by 10,000 Iwagakure ninjas? So, in a world like Hokage ninja, unless facing the late Six Paths line. Otherwise, is combat power the most important thing? Actually not. Tactics are the most important. The most typical example is Hidan, who originally had the strength to hunt down cage-level powerhouses, was given a lively show by Shikamaru, a strategist. This is the difference between tactics and combat power. So, Unless you can get rid of this mortal body. Otherwise, any ninja can be tactically targeted by the enemy. But how can we be extraordinary in this world? Wait for the system to sign in. Future fusion of Otsutsuki's bloodline. Who knows if there is such a reward? Yifeng secretly sighed, left the bridge, and began to practice alone in the wild. I have penultimate level futon, wind style, and sweetened water style now. It's time to try it out and see if I can make an ice shield. Yifeng stretched out his 5 fingers. Identify the meridians by Byakugan. The extremely pure futon, wind style, chakra and sweeten, water style, chakra come out along the fingertips, meet in the palm, and condense out 1,000 ice shields that exudes chills. Haha, sure enough, this way, the speed of the hidden weapon will be faster, and you can also use the ice shield finger gun. This wave of tasks will make a lot of money. The mission of the Land of Waves is complete. Although Dasna made an IOU. But Anko and Yifeng still made a lot of money. Zaibujian is an S-rank missing nin in Kurigakure village. His situation is slightly different from the black market bounties of Asuma and Delu. S-level missing nin reward in the 5 major villages was originally intended to remind other villages to beware of these missing nin, not to encourage everyone to try their best to get the reward. So, if you don't cut it, there is actually only a bounty of 10 million taels. This is because the beheading sword is recovered. But, even so, because there are no middlemen to make the difference, the 2 of Anko still made a lot of money. Chapter 75 The Darkness of Konoha. Ha ha ha, 5 million taels is equivalent to performing 6 or 7 S-rank missions, so happy. By the way, Yifeng, after you have money, how are you going to spend it? Anko grinned. She almost laughed like a dick. I've actually always lived a rich life, so just spend money as usual. Sorry, I don't quite understand how you feel. Yifeng thought for a while and said helplessly. Quote. Damn it, you bastard. If I create another chance for you to pretend in the future, my mother will give you your surname. Anko is full of cows. This kid is so nasty. Return to Konoha village. Yifeng went straight to Ino and Hinata. Anko reported the details of the mission to the 3rd Hokage alone. The mission process cannot be faked. This is the iron law of ninjas. 3 generations of Hokage heard the story that Teodi would never be cut again. A happy smile appeared on his face. Although there is a small situation in the task level. But, fortunately, neither of them had an accident. And satisfactory to the 3rd generation of Hokage. Strong, well-born, and loving. Such young people. The future is too suitable to inherit his will. On the training ground. Yifeng hugged Ino and Hinata from left to right, telling them what happened to the country of waves this time. Brother, when this happens in the future, you must follow the rules. It's too dangerous for you to do so. Ino said with some fear. After all, that's an S-class missing nin. Very dangerous. Yes, Yifeng, such a ninja should be on the same level as our guide, Jonan, right? Hinata also asked worriedly. Yifeng smiled. The strength of Zaibujian should not be as good as Asuma's. But stronger than Kurenai Yuhi. Isn't this for the bounty? After all, 5 million. Yifeng made his excuses. Hey, isn't it 5 million taels? It's not enough for the 3 of us a year's pocket money. Why take such a big risk? Yeah, isn't it just money? After Anko reported the situation to the 3 generations of Hokage, he originally planned to come over and invite Yifeng and his little girlfriend to have a meal to celebrate. Result. Anko, who had just walked to the edge of the training ground, heard the words just now. Her face darkened instantly. Pink fist clenched. Damn brats, I'm pissed off. The news that Yifeng killed Zaibujian quickly spread among certain circles in Konoha village. Hyuga home. Living room. Hyuga Hiyashi and Yamanaka Inoichi sat down to drink tea. The two looked relaxed and comfortable. Wooden show will be destroyed by Lin Feng, and people show will be lost to the masses. Yi Feng's performance this time is too outstanding. I'm afraid it will attract the attention of that Konoha darkness. Hyuga Hiyashi picked up the teacup and took a light sip. I don't think it matters. After all, Yi Feng is not alone. There are Ino Shikacho and Yu Hyuga Hiyashi behind him. Even if he is the darkness of Konoha, so what? Yamanaka Inoichi looked at Yunwan Yunshu outside the window and smiled faintly. It's because Yi Feng has our backing that Danzo would hit Yi Feng's idea. Hyuga Hiyashi sighed and said with a flat eye. The third generation is also getting old. At Yi Feng's age, he showed that he wanted to train him to become Hokage. The next little guy's life will not be so good. Yamanaka Inoichi laughed and said, it doesn't matter, I, Yi Feng, have the appearance of Hokage. Ah! Yi Feng suddenly sneezed 3 times in a row. This made him a little confused. Just with my physique. Still have a cold. Could it be? Someone said some horrible things about me behind my back. Chapter 76 _ How old are you? Yi Feng and the 3 of them walked down the street holding hands. Suddenly, Anbu Ninja with long purple hair and a sword behind her back appeared in front of them. It's you again. Stopped, frowned, and looked at Azuki Yugao. Why is this guy here again? Yamanaka Yefeng, Hokage-sama has a request. Azuki Yugao looked at Yi Feng with a strange look in his eyes. This kid. It's only been a few short months. He actually killed the Kurigakure ghost. It's a pity that she planned to guide Yefeng Daoshu at the beginning. Really blind arrogance. Oh, the third generation is looking for me. Then you two should go back by yourself first, and I will come after you. Wait. And followed behind Azuki Yugao to the Hokage building. Hokage office. As soon as Yi Feng entered the door, he found that the atmosphere was a little unusual. Not only 3 generations of Hokage and Anko are here. Even Danzo and 2 elders are here. Anko's face was even a little ugly. Yefeng, you're here. 3 generations of Hokage smiled awkwardly and greeted Yefeng's eyes swept across the faces of several people calmly, and slowly asked, Lord Hokage, asked me to ask what is the matter. Oh, it's like this. Regarding the mission of the Land of Waves, you did a great job. We 3 generations of Hokage were not finished. Chimura Danzo interrupted him directly. Hiruzen, you don't need to go around the corner. The 2 of them used IOUs without authorization to raise the task level, which is against the rules. For things that don't conform to the rules, there is a penalty. So, Mitarashi Anko, Yamanaka Yekas, after our unanimous decision, the bounty you get this time will be used as punishment this time. Danzo's voice fell. The 2 elders nodded in agreement. Third generation of Hokage frowned. He didn't say much. Just like all the things he's done over the decades. But a sneer appeared on the corner of Yi Feng's mouth, and glanced at them dismissively. Subsequently, looked at Anko and asked, Anko, have you handed over your money? Not yet. Anko snorted coldly. She was obviously extremely dissatisfied with the decision of the top management. Nodded, looked at Danzo sharply, and said lightly. Since you're talking about the rules, let me ask you, which rule was announced by Konoha Village that says that you can't use IOUs to improve your quest level? Danzo was slightly taken aback. Obviously did not expect Yi Feng to ask such a question. We're already drafting, and in a few days, you'll see. Danzo said coldly. That means, when we were carrying out the mission of the Land of Waves, Konoha Village hadn't announced this rule yet. Yi Feng let out a sneer and said. Since there is no such regulation yet, why are you looking for us? Is it because we perfected the Konoha Village quest loophole, so ready to reward us? Heard here. Anko couldn't help but praise Yi Feng's wit. This kid. It's not just great when it hits me. There is something to beating about others. Hey, Rhetoric. Kiba has a sharp mouth. Although this rule has not been added yet, what you are doing is wrong. Punishing you is also for the sake of the village, it is useless to say anything. Danzo said coldly. Oh, really? For the village? Who do you think you are? Do you represent Konoha village? Also, are you wrong when you say we are wrong? Your special code is neither Hokage nor an elder. How old are you? How dare you point fingers in front of me? Chapter 77_ Am I sharp? Snapped. Danzo slapped the table angrily. Although his eldership has been removed by 3 generations of Hokage. But, in the village of Konoha, who would dare to speak to him in such a tone? Although I am not Hokage, nor the elder of Konoha village, I am the leader of Genin. Danzo said proudly. Oh, Genin, sorry, I haven't heard of it. Next one. Yifeng waved his hand lightly. This moment, the atmosphere in the office became more and more bizarre. Shimura Danzo stared at Yifeng fiercely, Kiba's roots crunched. To this, the night wind was not afraid at all. At this time, Kaharu Utatane, who had not spoken, said, Yamanaka Yifeng, although Danzo is not the elder of the village, he is also one of the high-ranking members of the village. The plan he just mentioned has also been approved by us, so let's hand over the bounty. 10 million bounty. It is equivalent to the commission of more than a dozen S-level tasks. How can 2 people who don't follow the rules go away? So, the 2 elders and Danzo are really sour. Actually, it's not impossible that you want me to hand over the money. Just show me the policy of Konoha village first and see if it says that there will be a fine if you use an IOU to raise the task level. Yes, take the money. But if not, I'm sorry. After all, why do you want the bounty from me and Anko? Just with your old faces. Yifeng's words were sharp. No sympathy for each other at all. Yes. 5 million taels is not much. But, this tone. We have to earn it back. HMPH, just because we are the elders of Konoha village, isn't that enough? Homura Mitokado stood up angrily. In the village of Konoha, elders are second only to Hokage. Even many times. Even Hokage had to follow their advice. This bastard boy dared to talk back to them in public. Hehe, are you trying to use the status of an elder to oppress me? I remember that there is a sentence in the textbook of the ninja school, which probably means that Konoha village is everyone's Konoha village, not a few people's Konoha village. I'm right, 3 generations of Hokage, that's your own words. Yifeng said lightly. Ah, that's true, 3 generations of Hokage sighed. Since that's the case, things in Konoha village should be done according to the rules of Konoha village, not according to the rules of the elders, am I right? Yifeng said slowly. HMPH, Kid Wonko, you're not ashamed to say it. Homura Mitokado and Shimura Danzo stood up together, exuding a suffocating aura, as if preparing to do something. Why, are you going to be angry? I'd really like to see what you, the so-called high-level executives, have the ability to sit in that seat and not get down. Yifeng supported the ninja knife on his waist, and a sneer appeared on the corner of his mouth. Grunt. Watching the night wind grow stronger and stronger. Anko couldn't help swallowing. Yifeng, don't be impulsive, you can't do it in this place. Anko pulled Yifeng. Although she also felt that Danzo was too deceiving. But if you openly shoot at them, you will be listed as missing nin. Yifeng smiled indifferently, took out his ninja knife, and took out an apple from his backpack, and said lightly. Do it. Who said it's time to do it? I just want to see if my knife is still in good shape and can be used to peel apples. Chapter 78_ The old man is Hokage. My knife is sharp and can cut fruit. The meaning is already obvious. This moment. The office was tense, and the atmosphere was dignified, almost on the verge of breaking out. At this time, the door to Hokage's office was pushed open. Uzumaki Naruto rushed in carelessly. After seeing Yifeng, He laughed and said, "Ah, Yi Feng, you are indeed here. I heard that you performed an S-rank mission. Uncle Hyuga, Uncle Yamanaka, Uncle Nara, Uncle Akamichi, Uncle Aburame, Uncle Inazuka, I want to invite everyone to celebrate for you." After Naruto finished speaking, it was as if he realized that there were other people in the room. He hurriedly touched the back of his head in embarrassment, and said with a naive smile, "I'm sorry, the third-generation grandfather, did I disturb you to talk about things? Shouldn't you be rewarding Yi Feng? Hee, I'm so envious." Naruto laughed for a while. The atmosphere in the office became even more bizarre. 3 generations of Hokage sighed, stepped forward and patted Danzo and Homura Mitokado on the shoulders and said, "Let's just forget about this matter. Yi Feng is right. This is a loophole in Konoha's rules. He can't be blamed. No. They must be severely punished. Hiruzen, are you confused?" Hear accusations from 3 old buddies. Sarutobi Hiruzen's face suddenly darkened. "Forget it. Don't forget it. The old man is the Hokage of Konoha village. Tigers do not send cats. Do you think I am dying? You old guys. Didn't you hear that there are 6 major families standing for Yefeng? Still want to hit him? Crazy. Isn't it a bounty of 10 million taels? Isn't it just money? Look at you one by one. Money. Isn't it the easiest thing to get in Konoha village? The old man is not interested in money at all. That's it. ... Exit the Hokage building. Naruto followed Yi Feng with a look of excitement. "Yefeng, how was my acting just now? Uncle Shikaku helped me to write the lines. I acted very naturally, right? I can't see it being intentional at all. Well, I've made a lot of progress. It's not a loss to be a man who can become Hokage in the future." Yi Feng smiled and praised. "Ha ha ha, I knew, I really am a genius." Uzumaki Naruto also laughed happily. Anko walked beside Yi Feng, looking at Yi Feng with complicated eyes. "Yefeng, thanks to you this time, but you offended Danzo and the 2 elders. I'm afraid it will be difficult in the future." Anko said. "The bounty is preserved though." But, looking at Yi Feng and these old guys' hard steel, Anko was still worried about Yi Feng from the bottom of his heart. If you can choose again, she would rather give up the money. Yi Feng glanced sideways at Anko, shrugged, and said with a smile, "It doesn't matter, since we all have money, let's just focus on D-level tasks in the future. Anyway, in Konoha village, I'm not worthy of them." Anko smiled. "Yes. If you leave the village. Even if Danzo has the roots in his hands, he wouldn't dare to do anything too outrageous to Yi Feng. But, can we do tasks together in the future? Actually, based on your performance in the Land of Waves this time, Hokage-sama has decided that you will carry out the mission alone in the future, and my role as temporary guide Jonin is over." Anko sighed. "Say the words, it's over." Anko's heart is very complicated. When Anko learns that she can no longer team up with Yefeng in the future, she felt a little sad for no reason. But he's obviously just a very annoying kid. Why should I be sad? Chapter 79 _ Are we really siblings? Oh, is this the end? Yi Feng stopped, his expression slightly stagnant. Subsequently, smiled and looked at Anko. "I won't be there to protect you as a dead kid in the future. You have to be a little more careful when you are doing tasks." Hear Yi Feng's exhortation. Anko smiled lightly and said, "Damn it, don't look down on people, I'm a special Jonin from Konoha village, Mitarashi Anko." Yi Feng nodded and said with a smile, "Oh, okay, but there is one thing you need to pay extra attention to in the future, don't eat so many sweets. If one day, you really become a big fat man, don't blame me for turning my face and not recognizing anyone. After all, I only like to associate with young ladies of your current size." "Damn it, how can I get fat? You give me death." Dot 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 dot. A month passed quickly. These days, Nightwind did not trigger any sign in tasks. After all, this ghost system is so unstable. Yifeng is not in a hurry. Anyway, with his current strength, even if he encounters Orochimaru in the Konoha collapse plan, he is sure to retreat. I don't know how Enko is doing recently. I feel like I haven't seen her for a long time. Yifeng shook his head. Enko appears to be out on some high-level mission. Never came back. Yifeng occasionally wants to adjust the breath, but she has no chance. But Yifeng knew it won't be long. He could meet Enko again. Because Chunin exams in Konoha village will start soon. Dot 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 dot. On the training ground, Hinata and Ino are sweating hard. Hinata is practicing 8 trigrams 64 palms. Ino is practicing the knife. Yifeng was sitting alone on a chair in the training ground, looking at them calmly and giving pointers from time to time. Nightwind at this time. There is no need for training. Because his strength has almost reached a certain bottleneck. It's hard to break through just with daily training. Just hang up. Yifeng, I feel like I'm about to seize the opportunity you mentioned, please help me try it again. Hinata jumped up and landed in front of Yifeng, sweating profusely on her body. Although she was young, her figure was already showing. Good. Hinata has been practicing 8 trigrams 64 palms for some time. But never practiced. In Yifeng's words, that means that Hinata has not yet found an opportunity to upgrade. Once you find that feeling, you can naturally use the 8 trigrams 64 palms. Don't ask how Yifeng knew. Just ask. We have already met. After all, it is an open player. Dot 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 dot. Bang bang bang. The center of the training ground. Yifeng and Hinata were 2 figures, constantly swaying on the ground, completing a series of warm-up preludes. Finally, Hinata swishes Byakugan open. Yifeng knew that the time had come. He raised his hands, and the hidden weapons flew all over the sky, attacking the vital points of Hinata's body without any dead ends. Drink. 8 trigrams. 8 trigrams 16. 8 trigrams 32. Buzzing. At the foot of Hinata. 8 trigrams condensed by chakra suddenly appeared. 8 trigrams 64 palms. Boom. All the hidden weapons in the sky were shot down by Hinata in an instant. 8 trigrams 64 palms finally practiced successfully. Congratulations, Hinata, you've finally mastered this trick. Ino smiled and stepped forward to celebrate, at the same time a little envious in his heart. Hinata is getting better and better. But my swordsmanship, hey, we are obviously brothers and sisters, why is there such a big gap between us in the talent of swordsmanship? Chapter 80_ What a sin. Yifeng, thank you, without you, I might never be able to practice 8 trigrams 64 palms in my life. Hinata gasped. He looked at Yifeng with admiration on his face. Didn't I tell you, you are excellent, definitely better than the Neji from your Hyuga family. Yifeng touched Hinata's little head and hugged her into his arms. In the original plot, in the qualifiers for the 3rd round of the Chunin exam, Hinata was badly wounded by Neji. But now it's different. Not only is Hinata's character no longer as cowardly as in the original plot, but he even practiced 8 trigrams 64 palms. Don't look at Neji's 8 trigrams 60 palms. But in the process of practicing with the Night Wind, Hinata has grown rapidly in terms of strength, speed, and the use and development of Byakugan. It has already surpassed Hyuga Neji. So, Yifeng has never seen Neji as Hinata's nemesis in life. But just a little kid. Feel the trust of the Night Wind. Hinata shyly leaned her head against Yifeng's heart, letting the breeze blow, her long purple hair flying. This moment. She could feel it. There is only happiness. Yifeng looked down at her with a smile on the corner of his mouth. The next step is to practice 8 trigrams vacuum palm. Hinata, I will definitely help you become a veritable princess Byakugan. ... Next. The three were tired and crooked on the training ground for a while. At this time, a slender figure flew from a distance. Stopped in front of Yifeng. It's you again, Lord Hokage is looking for me again. Yifeng looked at Azuki Yugao and asked with a smile. Azuki Yugao looked at Yifeng and Hinata who were hugging each other, and the expression under the mask was slightly complicated. No, I came to you this time because your previous guide, Jonin, hasn't returned to the village, so I will inform you that the village will hold the Chunin exam in 7 days. This is the application form. If you want to participate, you can write your name on it and take it to the ninja school's teaching office 301 to report in 7 days. Oh, received. After Yifeng put away the registration form, he didn't say anything more. ... In the woods. Azuki Yugao rushes all the way. By a waterfall. She finally stopped. Take off the mask that seals her beauty. Showing that delicate face. Hey, how's it going? Did that stinky boy ask me about my situation? Azuki Yugao looked at Anko who appeared in front of him. He shook his head silently. No. Damn, this stinky boy has a black and straight girlfriend, and he doesn't even care about the situation of the old lady. Look back and see how I deal with him. Anko said angrily. Mitarashi Anko is Azuki Yugao's best friend. But Azuki Yugao always felt that Anko was about to lose himself. After all, he is 10 years older than others. What the hell are you thinking? Anko, tell me the truth, don't you like that kid? Azuki Yugao hesitated for a long time, and finally couldn't help but ask. Huh, what are you kidding? That dead kid is so annoying and so much younger than me, how could I like him? Don't talk nonsense, or your girlfriends won't do it. Anko flatly denied. My big Anko like a kid like that. I care about him. Just because he is my disciple. Azuki Yugao sighed. If he didn't like it, why did he face Yuhi? All are women. I don't understand. What a sin.